Gesualdo, nobleman, lutenist, Renaissance composer, and murderer. His music is remembered for having a chromatic language not heard again until the late 19th century. However, his personal life is remembered for the brutal murder of his wife as he caught her in the act of infidelity. The lyrics in Gesualdo's music suggest he was emotionally haunted by this fact. The extravagant text settings of words represent the many extremes of emotion, such as love, pain, death, ecstasy, and agony. This type of word painting reached an extreme in the Renaissance under the hand of Gesualdo. As incredible as this harmony can seem, it can be mainly attributed to just a few specific chord relationships, such as chromatic mediants, doubly chromatic mediants, and tritone relationships. Let's take a look at a few of these relationships. The chromatic mediant relationship is made up of chords whose roots are separated by a third, and they only have one common tone. Here's a progression of chromatic mediant relationships. The doubly chromatic mediant relationship, however, is made up of chords whose roots are also separated by thirds, but they have zero common tones. Tritone relationships are chords whose roots are separated by a tritone. A common tritone progression is two major triads pitted against each other. This progression can readily be found in sci-fi movies such as Star Wars. One of the first composers to start using the chromatic mediant relationships in the same way that Gesualdo did is Wagner. It's a wonder it took so long to hear relationships in music like this again. Let's examine some of these same relationships in Gesualdo's Moro Lasso. Listen as Gesualdo paints the word moro, or death, with a chromatic mediant, giving the beginning of his piece a very unsettling feeling. And again. The more that you listen to this music, the harder it is to remind yourself that you're listening to music made by a Renaissance composer, not one of the Romantic era or the 20th century. Listen as Gesualdo divides the word sorte, or fate, with two tritone relationships. And again. This piece was certainly not easy for its time. It's assumed that it was probably accompanied by a harpsichord or some other instrument to make it more accessible for the singers. This presents a problem, however, because most keyboards in Gesualdo's time were tuned in mean tone tuning. In other words, they could only play in a handful of keys without sounding out of tune. Knowing this, perhaps one might guess that he used a 12-tone equal temperament tuning system, kind of like we see today. But there's actually a better theory. Nicola Vicentino, a Renaissance composer, keyboardist, and music theorist, invented a keyboard instrument with 31 keys. This keyboard could play just thirds in every key, and naturally, Gesualdo had one in his possession. It's very possible that he wrote and accompanied his singers with this instrument. I can't help but wonder what Western music could have evolved into had Gesualdo's music been more popular in his time. What if Monteverdi's style had not propelled music into the Baroque era saturated with functional harmony? Could we have seen a period of music dominated by chromatic harmony not seen until Wagner? More importantly, what would that mean for the style and evolution of music today?